Welcome to the Cultural Values Task Force video highlighting a value a month. By now, we've all seen this email and this graphic. These have given us definitions, quotes, and examples of each value. Now that they've all been introduced, let's dive a little deeper. Everyone should have received an email at the beginning of the month with a value newsletter. Be on the lookout for this the second week of every month. The newsletter will help us dive a little deeper on each value and give us a more clear definition. On the fourth week of every month, you'll get a video similar to this one that takes the monthly value and shows you how it looks and even how it doesn't look in the workplace. Also in each video, you'll hear from someone who has nominated their fellow colleague for that value. They'll explain why they nominated that person to give us a physical representation of what living out that value looks like. Finally, you'll hear from a member of the executive cabinet. They are studying the values monthly and will provide us with what each value means to them. Let's kick it off with the month of September's value, transparency.
Oh no, this is not good. How will I tell my employees that their schedules are being changed in 3 days before the semester begins? There are some few options to make sure that everyone's taken care of, but how do I do this? Jeez. I just need to be upfront and straightforward with her. I know if I talk with them, we can pretty much act quickly and come up to solutions. This is not the worst case. We can figure this out. That's what my team does. Let me get on the phone with Jacqueline.
Hey Crystal, what's up?
I'm afraid I've got less than desirable news to share with you today. Due to everything that's going on and the majority of our students going online, you're only going to be able to get about 3 sections to teach of your lab classes instead of 6.
What? Oh no, that means my salary gets cut in half?
No worries, no worries. We have options, okay? That's why I'm calling you to be upfront so we can talk about it. You know, I don't want you to have fear and be concerned because I know this is a concern. So I will make sure that you are still having your 6 classes. They just won't all be labs. No pay cut. I just want to make sure you knew that there were going to be some significant changes this semester, okay? So I'm sure we can work through this.
Oh, thank you so much, Crystal. That makes me feel so much better. I really appreciate you letting me know.
Absolutely, no problem. I wanted to make sure that you knew that I have your back and I will always be available to hear your concerns. And I want us to be able to get together so we can resolve this. You know, I don't believe in kink. There's always a solution. We just got to figure it out, okay?
Thank you so much, Crystal.
No problem. We'll get through this.
Thanks.
Oh no, this is not good. How will I tell my employees that their schedules are being changed in 3 days before the semester begins? There are some few options to make sure that everyone's taken care of, but how do I do this? Jeez. I just got so much on my plate. I cannot possibly waste my time calling each faculty member and giving them all these details. I'll have my student worker, I guess, help. I mean, that's what she's here for, to assist me. And I'll worry about the details later. Sydney, come here, please.
Yes?
Okay, I have a list of faculty that report to me, okay? I want you to give them a video call. I want you to contact them and let them know that their lab hours are being cut this semester. If they ask questions, just tell them I will get with them later, okay? Can you do that?
Okay, I guess.
Oh, hey, Sydney. Where's Crystal? She sent me an urgent meeting invite. Is everything okay?
She told me to tell you that your hours are being cut.
Wait, what? They're being cut? What is What does that mean? Does that mean my salary gets cut too? Do I look for another job? When is this happening?
She said you'll find out later. Bye!
I can't believe this. I thought Crystal was always going to be here for us. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I thought she had our back. I thought I could trust her. Oh, man.
For the pillar of transparency, I believe that Danielle Vauclain, the Dean of Nursing and Allied Health, is a very good representation of what transparency actually looks like. She guides us. She is not just our dean, but Dr. Vauclain is very much a leader in that we never have to worry about where she's taking us. She is very, very upfront with what she expects of us and make sure that our expectations are heard as well. The most important thing, though, and I think the reason why she is such a good example of transparency is because there is very little guesswork as to what her vision for our department is. We know where we're going, and that's because of her forthrightness. I was sitting down and I was trying to come up with a specific example of what she does. And what I noticed is that as I was coming up with examples, they were bleeding over into other pillars like trust and service leadership. The thing I realized more than anything was that that's because of the way that she leads. And that goes back to her transparency. She has pretty much blurred the lines between the pillars because she just encompasses them all. And she does such an efficient job. So when you think about transparency, if you want a really good example, look at Dr. Vauclain. It's really what makes her an excellent leader. Thank you, Dr. Vauclain.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the value of transparency. Our cultural committee asked me if I would take a few minutes just to share with you my thoughts around that value and why it is important not only to me, but also to our college community and to our community in general, really. And so thought I'd just take a few minutes to share some ideas with you. Transparency is one of the values that I think that I hold most dear, and one of the values that I think I've learned a lot about over my career about, again, not only what it looks like when it's done well, but what it looks like when it's not done well. I certainly have worked in other organizations and for other supervisors where you always felt like maybe you didn't quite know what was going on, right? Or maybe that there was another side to the story that just wasn't being told. And it really inhibits trust. It inhibits your feeling like you're really a part of something, like you're in the know, that you're a part of the team. Being transparent with each other is so critical to making sure that everybody feels a part of what we're trying to accomplish. It's not easy to accomplish something when maybe you only know half of what you're supposed to know. But as I came into the role, I think it's about being authentic as well, and being an authentic person, and about being an authentic leader. I know when I came into Fletcher, I'll go back to my interview. When I interviewed, I told folks, friends and family, that I was going to come in and really try to be myself. And in many ways be transparent about who I was, because I thought I can put on a show and I can put on an act maybe, right, for 5, 6, 8 hours, whatever the interview process was that day. But at the end of the day, if that's what people believe, then when I come to work, I've got to be that person, and I've got to pretend to be that person, right, for years. And that was something that I just really didn't have any interest in. And I also thought, if these folks want me as the Chancellor of Fletcher, I want them to want me because it's me. And so when I came in, I wanted to carry that through. And so many of you have heard me kind of say that I live by the principle of kind of lay my head down on the pillow at night and be okay, either with my decisions or where we're going. But I think an equally important part of that for me is can I say genuinely that if there is something that folks need to know, that I'm going to share it with them. It involves a little bit of vulnerability. It involves some trust. But what's really important to me is that at the end of the day, I don't want people to feel like we're hiding something from them or that there's some other story going on, because I think that fuels stuff like gossip. It fuels people just not really feeling engaged with the institution. And so my yardstick is, if I can tell you, and that's legally or human resources wise or whatever, I want to tell you. I want you to know that, because I think it helps you make great decisions. It helps you feel invested. It helps me in sharing information and ensuring that everybody understands where we're going. But quite honestly too, it helps me a lot of times because I don't have all the answers. And I don't have all the solutions. And sometimes by being transparent and being honest with folks and sharing with them where you're at, so many times throughout the past few years, I've gotten a call or an email after and with a really great idea, or hey, I have a solution to that problem. And had I not been transparent and shared that with everybody, we may not have wound up with the solution or the answer that turned out to be really great for the college. And so that's a really wonderful aspect to this. We were reading about transparency as an executive team the other day, and one of the things that they said in one of the articles that I thought was so true is that there is this heightened level of an expectation of transparency in our world today. And I think that not only is the transparency important for us internally, but also for our community, right? And they talked about how now with the internet, right, Airbnb, Uber, TripAdvisor, you can get online and there's a real sense of transparency about the business, right? You can see people's ratings. You can see real pictures of your hotel room before you get there, right? So not those beautiful stock photos that are all staged, right? And then you get to the hotel and you think, that wasn't what I thought I was getting. But there is this level of transparency that is more accessible to us now and has become really more a part of a lot of companies' business models. And higher education is honestly not very different from a lot of that. We all know it through what people have talked about for years as accountability, right? What are your graduation rates? How many students are getting employed? We've been answering those questions for our community for a long time, and that too is transparency. But I think it is the opportunity to say to folks, when you come to Fletcher, you know what you're getting. When you come to Fletcher, you know the experience you're going to have. And that's not just important for the students who want to come here, but it's important for us that I want to work in a place that I believe in. I don't know about you guys, but when I walk out on the street and I get asked about Fletcher or I get a chance to talk about Fletcher, what I want to say, I want to believe it. And that's the beauty in transparency, is that if we don't feel like we have to hide something or we don't have to do a staged photo of what it's like to be at Fletcher, then we get to be authentic, we get to be passionate about it, we get to love it, and the transparency just comes naturally. So I hope that you all will join me in an effort to be more transparent. We know that not all the time can we tell everybody everything, right? But where we can share our truth, where we can share information, we should. Let's empower each other, and let's continue to value transparency, and let's continue to let that value help us build trust and help us build a stronger community. So I hope that this was helpful in sort of explaining our value of transparency a little more, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. So I go into my old school, this is how we do it, na 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 na. Okay, enough of that. Nobody wants to hear me sing. That's being transparent.